seeing some love for Gugbane. I agree. Gugbane, very good. Okay, without further ado, folks, I have a little birdie on my shoulder telling me a very important detail. And that detail is our time spinner run is ready. This is very exciting because we got Pumpkin Spice doing randomizer any percent. Take it away, Pumpkin.
Wow, where am I taking us? Oh, probably somewhere in time. I mean, maybe. Not to give it away, I guess. But hi, yeah, this is Timespinner, and it's a randomizer. It's exactly what it sounds like on the tin. We'll get into that in a sec. I'm joined by someone who has no idea what this is. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Ember Cypher, and my pronouns are they, them. I don't play Timespinner. I know very little about it. I know a tiny bit about the randomizer, but that's only through osmosis through you. So hopefully this goes well.
I've never played this before, so I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, let's not waste any time, Spinner. I will do that again. And we're gonna get going in 3, 2, 1. So, this is a Metroidvania that leans heavily on the Vania part of Metroidvania. It really wants to be cast. Oh, what's with my character? That's weird. It's like blocked out. Can I reset the run? That's actually not related to the sprite. That's related to what I just got. But I hate the sword. So as you can see, Lunes is currently
not safe for stream.
Yeah, she's a little blurred out. Oh, I was trying to. So with some of the orbs, some of the spells, if you time it right and you jump in the air there, she'll kind of float as you fly off screen. It's just a funny little glitch, that's it. Anyway, so we're a little censored, and that's gonna be fun. So most of the tricks in this game are done by lining up pixels on your screen. You know, like there's one trick where I try to line up Luna's hair with a little crack in the wall, etc. And as you can probably tell, those pixels are a little less visible at the moment. So that's gonna be great. And this particular orb, as you can see, is really good at not hitting enemies directly in front of... Oh my god. Directly in front of me. So this is literally the worst one we could have possibly started with, which is great. I am so thrilled. But that's the nature of a randomizer, which this is, and that means for us that all key items, of which we don't need very many because we are playing on the setting that does not require us to get the true ending, so that is fewer key items, but all key items, all equipment, all orbs, which are our weapons, all spells, rings, etc., are all randomized, and anything that could give you an item, so any chest, any NPC that just hands you something, anything that's laying on the ground, we have lore checks turned on, so any like little glowy things that I pick up, those are also potentially items. Those will all give us things, and we're looking for, in theory, as little as 2 key items, or up to like 5 or 6, but probably like 2 or 3. And mainly what we're going to be looking for, and hoping to get at... Oh god, I hate this orb so much. It does not break things directly in front of me, it's the worst. Mainly what we're looking for is going to be an item called Succubus Hairpin that lets us do a double jump. And the double jump in this game works exactly as it's intended. The thing that doesn't is, well, what if there was a way to make the game think you're crouching, but you're not? That might do something weird with your hitbox, right? Your collision a little bit. I fell. I hate these. So, I'll explain it a bit more in depth when we get there, but let's just say, if you don't really believe in ceilings, they're not real. They can't hurt you. They can't stop you. The only thing that can stop you is the stupid orb that I hate. It's so slow. There we go. We're gonna hit our first save room because there is actually a very real chance with these terrible starting weapons that I could die on the very first boss of the game. So that's exciting. But hopefully that won't happen. So we're gonna fight a cat. And if we're lucky, he'll stay right there because... Okay, he just immediately decided not to. That's cool. So, there's an ability we don't have that you actually are meant to get at the start of the game, because the entire game is built around it. That is the Timespinner wheel. That's right, Timespinner mentioned. And it lets you stop time for just yourself. Or, sorry, for everything around you. You're slowly moving. And he's moving again, I hate him. So, the entire game is built around the idea that you have this ability to stop time, so including this first boss assumes you have the ability to stop time and can just jump over him. Yeah, we don't have that ability. So if he starts moving towards us, we just have to take the hit. So we just want to be able to survive. We just want to be able to kill him before he kills us, and that is challenging when you have an orb as slow and not very strong as this one. Take those 2 hits and then clip on right through. And he's actually probably getting pretty low now, hopefully. I may be having a little bit of hopium on that. He really likes moving today.
I do
Sometimes
feel like you're
lucky.
a little bit on the hopium right now.
Listen, it's fine. We do start with a healing item, so we're probably okay. Oh my god, stay still! There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, so he, like... He gave me a potion. How thoughtful of him. He has, like, a few different patterns. Like, sometimes if you're lucky, he will just kind of sit there and, like, do his laser attack, do his little swipe attack, etc. Stuff that's easy to deal with, right? And that time he just didn't feel like it. He just felt like walking towards us. And now we're going to deal with the second most annoying thing, which is, you know how in Castlevania you have floating enemies, like the Medusa heads, that, like, knock you off of stuff? Yeah. So, remember how I said you're also supposed to have a time stop ability? So they assume you have that here, and you can just use that to get around these enemies and not get knocked off the platforms. Yeah, we don't have that.
Wow.
And our orbs are weak, so we have to get around them and not get knocked off into the water, or just fall in it, because, you know, we're feeling quirky like that. And it's fun. Fun fact. I hate these. That's not the fun fact. But the fun fact is, I think less than a third of all of my runs of this randomizer, I have the time stop ability. I have learned to play the entire game without its main gimmick.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. Which is really funny. Oh,
Yeah,
Max
speaking
stand up.
of-
That would be for your
Yeah.
your time stop ability.
That would be
wouldn't
the
it?
yes, that bar would be for time stop. Any day now, one of these will be something useful.
So what does Aura do for you in the game?
At this point, almost nothing, but...
Besides us Aura farming the stream right now for raising money for Lavender Foundation. It's Lavender Foundation, right? Or is it Lavender... Why can't I remember the name already?
Lavender Rights Foundation.
Thank you. I was like, I am missing an entire word here. Or it's Lavender Rights Project. We're both wrong with the word foundation.
You're still right, Lavender Rights Project. Listen, you said it with such authority that I automatically integrated it into my repertoire, whether or not it was accurate.
Oh, God. It's like, look, it's safe to say that I never know what I'm doing, but I like to act like I know what I'm doing.
Me too.
Fake it till you make it. It's the basis of theater.
So, Aura is for our special attacks. It isn't going to do a whole lot for us right now, because our current spell is eh. But, more importantly, we just got something we really wanted, at least the first of many things we really want, called the Twin Pyramid Key. And that normally just gives us the ability to use these warp rooms. It doesn't really do much else. However, in the randomizer, it will randomly choose of a safe pool, so it's not going to put you somewhere you can't really handle yet. A random warp room, ooh, nice, in whichever period you're not in. So if you are playing on Inverted and you start in the past, by the way, you're in the past right now, time travel. I mean, that kind of, you know, act surprised. Whichever one you're not in, you get a random warp room there. And that is the nice way to get between the two. Because normally, you know, playing through the game normally, you have to get a couple pieces of the Timespinner itself, and then you can travel through time, only in a specific room. But if you're lucky and you get the Twin Pyramid Key first, you'll get time travel unlocked that way. And it's much nicer, because you get an actual, like, warp room to use and all of that. It's great. If you're unlucky, you get the Timespinner wheel. Trust me, that's unlucky. And you get the Timespinner spindle. And then you can only warp between the past and the present in this room right there. And no other room. It's the worst. But today we're lucky. Most of the time we're lucky. On that one, at least. So, that's going to be the primary mechanic of this game outside of the time step ability that we don't have. Where certain bosses that we defeat here in the past are going to change the present. I would say that it makes sense. It actually kind of doesn't. But it's a little weird. There's a laser gate, and the laser gate gets less lasers, but the emitter for the laser is still there. So that's kind of weird. Like, it's not like it changed the technology. I don't know. Oh, thank God, we got a good orb. But there are 3 of those bosses in this game that we need to find and defeat, and each of those 3 will take away one of the lasers, and then when we get through those lasers, run away to the end. Because we are playing with a setting that changes the defaults of the randomizer. By default, the randomizer wants you to do the true ending, and the true ending takes, like, all the pieces of the Timespinner. Again, act surprise, not exactly a spoiler, the game is called Timespinner. And doing a bunch of stuff, yada yada. And that's the default, and that is a bit slower, it's a bit longer, etc., and you end up usually not using as many glitches because this randomizer doesn't count for glitches. There's no logic for it, right? So you often just end up kind of playing the game normally, which is fine. It's a fun game. But I kind of like glitches. So by playing on this setting, we can beat the game by defeating the any % final boss. And because of that, and because of the randomizer's logic, we get a little bit more opportunity to do some, well, some might call it cheating. And so that's why we're mostly looking for the Succubus Hairpin. That is the item that will let us double jump. And Light Wall would be cool. You can also use that to clip out of bounds. Same thing with the Timespinner wheel. So if you find just the wheel, that's great. The spindle will do basically nothing for us at this point. Outside of that, I mean, keycards will let us do things in the present. You know, they open doors, as keycards are wont to do. And fun facts, now that I think about the bosses, by the way, a friend of mine played through this recently, and I was watching him. Now, hey, that's one of the items I was talking about. I'll explain what that's good for in a little bit. So, a friend of mine was playing through this recently that I haven't played through this game vanilla in... I'm not going to think about the passage of time, it makes me sad. But
don't think about that, don't make me feel old.
I have only done speedruns or randomizer for the last however long I've been playing this. So, a little fun fact, as he was playing through it, he defeated the 3 bosses that are related to the laser gate. And I realized that anytime I've done a speedrun of this or played it in randomizer, etc., I have done them in the complete reverse order.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I did not realize that for the longest time.
You out here
until
doing
he played
RBO.
through it. Yeah, until he played through it, I was like, oh, that was the vanilla order? Interesting. So, you know, randomizers are fun. But we're going to be looking for a couple more items. And I'm going to show off a little thing real quick. This doesn't save any time, by the way, but it's style. and it's harder because I can't tell the pixels. There we are. So, like I said, ceilings aren't real unless you believe in them. And we're using a little thing there called crouch state glitch. It's exactly what it sounds like. The game thinks you're still crouched, but you're not, so your collision gets a little weird. And how it works is actually just as simple as the name. You literally just hold down to crouch, you tap the attack button and the backdash button. And if you did it right, Lunae's will kind of look like this, you know, and she'll look like she kind of stood up for a second or wanted to attack, like she was thinking about it but not really committed to it, you know? And if you did that, you did it right. You're now in the crouch state. And you'll be in that state until you take damage. So, as long as nothing hits you, you'll be in this little, like, semi-glitched out state. And while you're like that, if you jump towards a ceiling that's about the same height as a door, you'll notice that her head kind of goes through the ceiling a bit. Like, it'll still push it back down, you know? It does its best to keep you in bounds, but there's that little window where, like, you just kind of get just outside of it. And if you have the double jump ability, you can take advantage of that, and at the point where you reach your maximum height, ouch, through
Wow.
through the ceiling, which again, harder to do when you can't exactly tell where the top of her head is at the moment. You'll pop up into the ceiling, and if you do it in the right places, you can simply just go through the door in front of you. You can use it to... There's like a couple of niche things. The original use of it is there's a laser gate, a single laser gate in the vanilla game that you use to skip most of the lab, which we'll be using as well because, I mean, it's faster. Why wouldn't we, right? But if you use it elsewhere, say in a pyramid with a high sloped ceiling and no real exit to it, you'll get stuck out of bounds. Ask me how I know.
So, let me ask you, like, by the time you reach the final boss of this rando, like, what stats do you like to see? Not stats you expect to see, but what stats do you like seeing? Like your equipment and loadout and everything.
So ideally, ideally I'll have like Star of Black Yam, Empire Orb. I'll be a higher level than this, at least level 10 would be nice. There's also the chance we're gonna die on this boss, by the way, but that's fine. And I would like to have Eye Orb if I possibly can, because one boss is proficiently weak to it, which is funny because they're also the boss that created the Eye Orb. Fight fire with fire, I guess. They're also weak to fire. So kind of an ironic statement. Any of the Eternal items are good. Those are the best in the game for your armor. Any of the, like, I think they're called, Brain Fart. They're called, like, Royal or something like that. Yes, they're called the Brain Fart armor set. But no, there's like the Eternal Coat, Eternal Hat, and all that. And those are your strongest armor items, and you basically can just damage tank everything in the game at that point. Like, you just walk through everything, nothing hurts you. Ideally we'll get those, and it's entirely possible we'll get them off random enemies, because we also have an option turned on that makes enemies able to drop any non-essential items, so that is armor, equipment, and consumables. It is not orbs, because those can actually be essential. And there's just a chance that some random little dude will drop the Eternal Coat. So that's exciting, and that's usually how I end up getting it. Okay, Golden Eye is down. So, this was one of our 3 gate bosses, and we got Sullen's Bangle, which is actually really nice because that buffs our experience gain, specifically for Lunae's, because we also have the Galaxy Earrings, that buffs our experience for orbs. There's a lot of things. It's not as hard as it sounds. And I'm actually going to put that on now. While I have a second here. Put on the lab glasses. So, ideally, we'll hit about level 10. We're level 6 right now. That's not too bad. If we get, like, it kind of depends, right? Like, if I have the good armor, I can take a lower level. If my armor is not particularly good, I want a higher level, you know? Because Lunae's actually scales really fast herself. She outpaces most of her items, which is interesting. Ooh, Aura Serpent's good. That's one of our spell items. So, the faster Lunae's gains experience, the stronger we get, period. Like, it's a just bigger jump overall. It's more important, in fact, than leveling your orbs, for some reason. The Galaxy Earrings are nice, because they do give me a really big buff to my orb experience, but at the end of the day, getting, like, one orb level versus one Lunae's level, you want the latter. Also, this probably doesn't have anything necessary, but I can go through it, so I'm gonna do it anyway, because, like, we want getting things, right? This is a randomizer, we want things. Neither of those were useful. So, sometimes in a randomizer, you just don't get anything you want.
I love when you go to the trouble of doing something that is otherwise unnecessary, and then it just turns out to be actually junk.
Yep. But yeah, we're gonna be just kind of cruising along for a bit here, and I've been yapping a lot, so Big, if you got any words you'd like to share with us, feel free.
Totally. I just want to remind folks that we have an open incentive right now for tomorrow's first run of the day. Shout out to the Colossus that says you can pet the horse. I know, it's not a drill. You can indeed pet the horse. Just make sure that when you put your donations in that you select that reward incentive before completing the transaction. Regardless of whether or not you want to pet the horse, we have a lot of fantastic content lined up for tomorrow. If you want to see the full schedule, you can type !schedule in chat. It'll pull up a link to the schedule, and that link will display it in your local time. So regardless of where you are in the world, you will have the most up-to-date knowledge about when your favorite run in the schedule will start. Additionally, I just want to just shout out all of the hard work of everyone behind the scenes real quick. This marathon is no shortage of talent, and we are only seeing a fraction of it in front of the stage. So I want to give a quick thank you to everyone on tech team, all of production, all the chat mods in chat, and you, the viewers at home, for making this possible. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks to y'all for being here, and for raising money, and for making the game harder for me.
I have never heard chat referred to as talent, and you know what? I'm sticking with that. It's like, I am a talented viewer, damn it.
Sometimes it takes skill and precision to just nail the funny comment, and we love
it. Like, it genuinely does.
So, I got a funny item here because I got the Plasma Geyser, and also this is one of our gate bosses. She's gonna throw grapefruit slices at us. She doesn't want us to get scurvy. It's very nice of her. She's actually a war criminal, though. But the reason it was funny I got Plasma Geyser is hopefully something we're gonna see if she decides to be nice to me. Any second now. You'll feel like it, right? Come on, Aelana. We're good friends. We're besties. We've seen each other so many times. That's not the thing. Don't do that. Any day now. I promise. She'll do it. She really won't do it.
I was like, it's not looking like it.
At some point, she might go in the corner of one of the rooms and do a different attack instead of throwing grapefruit slices at me. At some point, she might. That's not an effect of the randomizer. That's just Aelana being mean to me. Again, she is a war criminal, so I mean, you know, that's kind of her thing. There we go. So yeah, the Plasma Geyser is that. And I got that right outside of her room. That's it. That's what was funny to me, and me alone. It's like a French vanilla item thing, you know? Hey, she's doing it again. But yeah, we really wanted her to do that attack, because as you can see, you can just get right behind her, and it's very easy to dodge. You get a bunch of free hits on her. But now that she's throwing 2 grapefruit slices, that means she's pretty low. They're actually plasma, by the way. They're not grapefruit slices, I'm so sorry. But it's much funnier to call them that, especially because there's a mirror boss that is her brother or something, I think, and he throws lemon slices at us, so it's just kind of funny for theming.
Ah, the citrus siblings.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, now she's down. You may notice that she's not dead. If you want to find out why, play the video game. You should. It's pretty fun. Oh, no, I didn't want to see that. So, so our last remaining laser gate boss, there are 2 ways to reach. I'm going to use a warp shard, actually. There are two ways to reach. There's the fun way, which is using the time spinner wheel to clip through the ground and fall directly to it. And then there's the boring way where we use the water mask and go through the water area, and then we do the game normal and we don't cheat. So we're gonna do that, I guess. I wanted to cheat. That said, I can at least explain what we would have done if we had been going that way. So there are two ways to do it. And arguably the time spinner wheel is the much easier way. The boss we're going to now is called the Maw of Asmodeus, and the skip is aptly named Maw Skip. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. There's a entire section of this game that's like flooded, it's underwater, and then there's the area right above it, which is where you exit after you defeat the Maw. Now, there's a room just to the left that has a sloped floor where a little wyvern sits, like a little mini wyvern guy. I went too far. I should have jumped in the water. Silly me. And with a time spinner wheel, if you let the wyvern jump into you, and as he's like up and to your left, kind of like if Lunace was a square, imagine he's in the top left corner. And you tap your time spinner wheel, you know, you freeze time, and you tap the down button. If you did it right, he should be like kind of roughly the same height as Lunace's head. The game will try to put you back in bounds because you're kind of like a little bit out of bounds. There's this enemy clipping through you. So it'll do its best, you know, to correct that. If you did it correctly, the game will actually do it wrong and put you further out of bounds and just shove you through the floor. And you'll fall straight down and be right outside the maw, and you'll skip this entire area. It's this all down here, by the way. We could have skipped all of that, but we're not going to. That's okay. The other way you can do that is the same floor, except you don't need the wyvern. You use Light Wall. Light Wall is an ability that places a vertical platform, and if you place a light wall and you run through it, like as you're casting it, Lunace will actually clip inside of it. And while she's clipped inside of it, again, if you have it at roughly her head height, like where her eyes are, which would have been hard with not being able to see her eyes, and you line it up kind of like with the slope of the floor again, and you tap down, you may notice there's a theme here. The game tries to put you back in bounds, and again, gets it wrong. Just shoves you straight through the floor. Maw Skip is much easier with the time spinner wheel because with Light Wall, you're much more dependent on placement with the platform, which is actually pretty difficult because like it is kind of like a set distance away from the maze, but like it's a hard to judge distance, right? Whereas letting the wyvern hit you is the wyvern is here. Look at the screen, you know? It's just a simpler method, in my opinion. That said... Oh, Soul Scanner. We can see the names of enemies we hit. Now that we have the water mask, though, we can take the regular way to get here. And we're gonna grab a few items along the way just to see if we can find any decent, like, equipment and stuff. But outside of that... We're actually technically in go mode at the moment. We are able to go fight the Maw. That is the last of our gate bosses. And then after that, we'll be able to enter the military hangar, which we'll try to get through pretty quickly. And there's no bosses there to fight. We just kind of speed through, trying not to get hit too much because everything there does a lot of damage. And then after the military hangar, we go through the lab, which, again, we're going to skip most of because we do have the double jump ability, so we can clip through the laser gate. After that, we're at the Emperor's Tower, and, well, I mean, I'm not going to tell you who the Emperor is, but you can probably figure out that someone called the Emperor is a final boss. He is the any % final boss in this game, and once we defeat him, the run is over. So, we gotta get there first, but we have all the items we need. We're just looking for the bosses that we need, and we're hoping to get a few better items along the way, because we have a decent enough weapon, but we just can't take a whole lot of hits at the moment. And this is the Maw of Asmodeus. He's just a guy. He just kind of sits here and is part of the reason that I forgot he's actually the last of the intended bosses for the Gate Order, because his attacks are all very telegraphed. He does not move He shows you where all of his attacks are going to be. You don't even need the time stop ability. You just run to the right. You step slightly to the right. Like, he's a very straightforward boss. So you wouldn't really think he's the last of them. That said, he can do a decent amount of damage if he does hit you. He'll have a big laser attack as well that he might get to use. Hey, right on cue. Thanks, buddy. Again, pretty easy to dodge, though. You just kind of stay in the middle of it. While we're destroying the maw, though, Big, if you'd like to chime in with anything you feel like chiming in with, feel free.
Absolutely. I just want to take a moment real quick to remind folks who are just now joining us that you're watching Hope for the Holiday, presented by Binary Bakers. We're here today raising money for Lavender Rights Project. This is a fantastic organization based on the West Coast that specifically tries to address inequalities facing the Black trans community. We have hit $1,000, but the show is just getting started for the weekend. So if you want to know more, you can type !donate in chat, get the Tiltify link, and you can, in fact, use your money to pet the horse in our first run tomorrow, which will be Shadow of the Colossus.
Indeed, pet the haunts.
What's that horse's name again? I think it's Agro. I can hear it in my head still. Oh yeah, so we're back in the present, and we're gonna be heading to the right, and I'm letting go of the controller with the other hand, because we are just literally just going to the right. One of these enemies will hit us. It's gonna take away our little shield. Can you tell I've done this a few times? When you're moving along with the Talaria attachment, which you can start with as an option. It's called Quick Seed. I never want to turn it off, ever. You can see why. But it just lets you hold the right trigger and move. It's a very classic Castlevania thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's... Oh, yeah. There's this room. So, we don't have the time stop ability. The game assumes we do. Okay, cool. We got past the first one of those. These hurt a lot if they hit me. And go. Alright, great. So yeah, you're supposed to stop time and get past those that way. But without the time stop ability, that gets a lot more dicey because they do a lot of damage. And we don't have very good armor right now. So, I mean, our armor's fine. It could be better. But it's fine. It's serviceable. It'll get us there. We still don't want to get hit by those, though, because they deal... I want to say they're probably going to hit me for, like, 30 to 40, and we don't want to get hit repeatedly, because you can't just get bounced around by them. Anyway, that was the military hangar. That took, like, 5 seconds. So this is Amadeus Laboratory. This is also going to take, hopefully... No, not 5 seconds, but, I mean... Not long. So, there's a whole section where we're supposed to go and, like... find an orb that's like powering the lab, etc., like all of its equipment, etc., and that turns off this gate to, you know, depowers it because, you know, turns off the power. I hate doing this with the censored sprite. There we go.
You did this to yourself. You made the censored sprite.
I did. However, we can just use crouch stay glitch to jump up through the ceiling there and skip the entire lab. Now we just fight the boss. That's it. And thankfully, we do have Chaos Blades, so while I don't have a main orb I feel good with using for this, and Blood Orb's okay, but I don't have my third attack, so it is what it is. It's not gonna be too bad, because bosses, and all enemies, in fact, in this game, but bosses here, you know, more important here, have damage resistances and damage vulnerabilities, etc. I don't actually know the names of the different types. Also, he turned into something. Don't worry about it. Play the game. This one in particular is weak to what I just usually call slashing or fire. Basically, like things like Eye Orb, Wind Orb, Blade Orb, but I don't like using it, Fire Orb, etc. Those are all good here. Chaos Blades is our spell, and that is, as you can tell, slashing damage and deals a lot of damage to this boss. So we're going to be making good use of that. I'm actually probably going to end up popping some of my aura restoring items here, just so I can spam it more often, because that is going to be our main damage. And again, we don't have the time stop ability, so some of his abilities are going to get a little dicey, because when he gets lower on health, he's going to start doing that more often. He's gonna start dropping the, like, big foot thing, whatever it is, more often on both sides of the screen as well. So we really just want to be able to take him out as fast as we possibly can. We don't want to be in this fight for very long, ideally. Okay, he's getting low because he's using 3 of those now. Minor Fish Ultra's fine. And just gotta watch my health. I'm gonna pop potion. And wait for him to go over here. Hit him again with the Chaos Blades. Oh, there he goes. Thought he was gonna do 2 of them. Yeah, even with being level 16, we're still taking a pretty good amount of damage from him. So, gonna go ahead and use another Mind Refresh and probably get hit as I come out of this. Yep, that's fine. Get behind him. That's the strategy for most bosses in this game, is get behind them. For some reason, they all seem to be just completely oblivious to your presence when you're behind them. And there we go. That's Genza down. Gave us a Warp Shard. We're gonna take the heal just in case. And we're heading up to Emperor's Tower, which is the last area of the game. So as long as I don't get killed repeatedly on the Emperor, which is possible with our armor, to be fair, it is very weak, we are like less than 10 minutes away from the end. But this area is unfortunately going to be a little longer than I'd like, just because we don't have anything that lets us move directly upwards. We just have the double jump ability. We don't have Light Wall, we don't have Celestial Sash, which does another quintessential Castlevania ability where you kind of just launch upwards in the air. So we have to take the long way around, because all we have is the double jump. And we don't have the time stop ability either. The time stop ability would also help with ascending, because if you jump on enemies, don't got it. So we gotta take the long way. Instead of going straight up, because we would already be at the boss if we had any other movement abilities. But we did, however, get Star of Lakiem, which I'm gonna put on as soon as I get a second here. And that is a ring that goes in this slot. And I'm actually going to change out as well, just for this room, to Blade Orb. We now get 3 orbs with Star of Lakiem. It is our best ring by far, because we just get an incredible damage boost, because you get 3 attacks now. Even your slowest orb is actually rather decent with Star of Lakiem. It's great. It's the one ring you really, really want to see. But these guys hurt a lot. What'd you say?
I said I fully believe that, like, in regards to, like, being able to get your, like, 3rd attack and everything, so even the orb that you started with would be better now than,
yeah,
than
I mean, that's a bar you could step over, but...
Yeah, I'm not saying the bar is super high. I'm just saying that the bar raised maybe 1 notch on the limbo tracker there, on the limbo sticks.
Yes, even Gun Orb is more palatable. Yeah, I'm gonna go and reset the room there, and then just use that to heal. I think what we're gonna do is we're just gonna try to damage boost through these. Yeah, okay, maybe not. No, we should be good. We should be good. As long as the other one doesn't get his orb attack off. And there we go. Alright, because now there's a save point here, and a ring that we don't really need. I'm gonna switch back to the, blue orb? Yes, we do want blue orb. So, this boss, the final boss, is going to be mostly weak to... What was that? Blunt type damage. Again, I don't really know what it's called, but he's wearing armor, so he's mostly weak to that. And all of his attacks are thankfully pretty predictable once you learn what each thing means. So he's going to be throwing some shurikens here. Again, we just get behind him, kind of a recurring theme. And this one's going to be an Aura Serpent. We just stand on this pillar, goes right above us. He's going to be doing now, throwing a bunch of orbs at us. Ooh, yeah. It's really hard to get behind him if you don't have the time stop ability, which again, the game assumes you have. And he's going to do a sword here. We want to be ducking because you can actually get hit behind him from that one. It's happened plenty of times. And I'm hoping that he'll use... Okay, he's using that again. I'm hoping that he'll use his other purple attack. Here we go. So this is the fists. He just does a bunch of fist attacks that way. And that's it. That's all of his attacks. There's the Aura Blast again. Basically, there's 3 different colors. They have a charge variant, and they have a regular variant. And once you figure out which is which, they're pretty easy to avoid, as long as you have some movement ability. But we're going to be getting close on time here honestly, within the next 60 seconds. I'm actually doing quite a bit of damage to him, so do be ready for that. He's going to do a sword attack again. We're going to duck. We're going to keep hitting him in the foot. We're going to go over here because he's doing the fists. You basically want to get to where he's going to end up at. Aura Blast. Hit him in the foot again. And dead. Time. Spinner. Told you I would do it again. But yeah, randomizers are a bit random. Sometimes they're nice to use, sometimes they're not. And today it was weirdly nice to us, actually, I believe. I wasn't really paying attention to how long that took time-wise.
38:35.
Yeah, okay, cool. That felt good. So, yeah. I know there's a lot I didn't get to explain. There's a lot to this game, and that is a very fast run. But I tried my best, and if you feel like you're interested in this game, give it a try. It's a really cool game. If you like Symphony of the Night and Order of Ecclesia, it's literally trying to be that. Like, it's that to the letter. Amber, thanks for being here, even though you don't know this game besides just seeing me play it, but
I mean, I'm
appreciate
always
you
here to
hanging
shoot
out.
the breeze.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks for having me. Hope you all had fun. I did. Except for,
No.
The struggling. But
That was a phenomenal showcase. Thank you so much for running this randomizer for us.
of course.
We are real quick going to take a very short break. So, folks, get your pumpkin spice lattes ready. Dare I say it? Buckle up. We will be right back. Stay tuned.